Hello class. In this video we will be installing VirtualBox 6.1 on Windows 10. Now a little disclaimer. I am installing VirtualBox in a Windows 10 virtual machine that has been stripped down from all Windows bloatware and optimized to a point in which it performs a little decent. So with that said, let's get started. I have divided this task into reasonable steps that I believe will guide you from beginner to moderate, I would say. So even if you had never have done this before, I believe that these simple steps over here are simple enough for you to follow. If not, then don't forget you can always ask in Discord any question that you have. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check if virtualization is enabled in your computer, because if it is not enabled you will be able to download and install VirtualBox, but then at the moment where you're at the point, excuse me, at the point where you're going to create virtual machines, then you're going to have problems. So to avoid that, let's do it right from the beginning. So to check if virtualization is enabled, the simplest way is to check in the task manager. So I'm gonna right click over here and I'm gonna click on task manager. Again, right click on um, right over here in the Windows taskbar and click on task manager. Then you can go to the performance tab, click on CPU, and if you see here an option that says virtualization enabled, yes, that means virtualization is enabled in your computer and you can continue to step 3. However, in my case, you're not going to see it because I'm running a virtual machine and Windows knows that it's being run in a virtual machine, not on a physical computer. But in yours, you might see when it says virtualization yes, virtualization no. Another way that you can check if virtualization is enabled on your system is with a third-party tool called Securable. The link and this file as well is going to be on Blackboard. I'm going to open it real quick. And you can just click over here where it says download now. This is an executable, so you just have to double click it to run it. Just gonna run it directly from Firefox. Yes. And as you can see, hardware virtualization is disabled on this virtual machine. So if this is the result that you got, that means you need to go and enable virtualization on your BIOS slash UEFI. This is when you go to step number 2. If you don't know what BIOS slash UEFI is, that is a special firmware in your computer that literally tells the computer where to find everything. If you want to learn more about it, I posted a video in Blackboard right over here. Allow me to show you. Right over here. BIOS, CMOS, UEFI. What's the difference? It's a pretty good video, very informational, that will help you understand what it is. Now, after you watch the video of what BIOS is and you have an understanding of what you're working with, you might want to know how to enable virtualization in the BIOS. There is also another video on Blackboard that is going to teach you how you enable virtualization on the BIOS. Because I am running on a virtual machine, I don't have an actual firmware, but a make-believe firmware in my computer, so I won't be able to show you myself. However, I believe that the video that we have in Blackboard over here, it's has done a very good job at explaining how to do that. Anyway, if you have a question about that or you want any help, you can either go to the lab in Hamilton room 308 or you can ask in Discord on how to do it. After you have enabled virtualization, which I'm gonna do on my computer right now, just give me one quick second. I'm going to turn off my virtual machine. Okay, I have already enabled virtualization on my hypervisor for this particular virtual machine, and we are going to see the difference. So I am going to go to my downloads folder and I'm going to run Securable one more time. As you can see, this turned from a no to a yes, indicating that virtualization has been enabled for this system. So now we're gonna go to step number 3. Step number 3 is nothing but to download the installer. So I'm gonna open Firefox one more time, copy this link over here to make it quicker. You can also get to this page by searching VirtualBox, and it's normally the first link right here on downloads. Voila, same page. Over here, since VirtualBox is available for pretty much every operating system out there, you need to choose the right one for your operating system. We are using, this is a Windows machine, and this is gonna be the host, so we're gonna click Windows Hosts. Click on Save File, but we will also download this over here, VirtualBox Extension Pack. Click on All Supported Platforms and click on OK. Both of these, depending on your internet speed, will download either right away or in a little bit. It's a small file, it's only 100 megabytes. So I'm going to run the VirtualBox installer by clicking on it. Or you can double click it from the downloads folder, however you choose it. Over here we're going to click on Next. This we can leave it as default unless you want to install VirtualBox in a different place. The default location to me is OK, so I'm just going to click OK. If you want a desktop icon, that's up to you. To me, all of these options are correct. So I'm going to click on Next, and I'm going to click on Yes to this warning that your network interface card will stop working momentarily. So I'm going to click on Yes, and I'm going to click on Install. I'm going to click Yes over here because I want to install the application, and I'll be right back once the installation is done. Okay, the installer has completed installing VirtualBox, so I'm gonna click on Finish. And now you see that you have your VirtualBox icon over here. If I want to launch VirtualBox, all I have to do is double click the icon, obviously. And here you go. This is VirtualBox. In the next video, we're going to be creating your first virtual machine. So see you then.